Click subscribe to Proper English Online for more real English conversations with native speakers every week. Like my lessons? Support me on Patreon. Patrons can download every worksheet for every lesson. Hey guys, this is Lee from Proper English Online, and this is the worksheet video for Pre-Intermediate Lesson 3, Talking to a Landlord. So in this lesson we're going to learn some expressions and phrases we heard in the conversation talking to a landlord. We're going to learn some phrases for talking on the phone. This was a phone conversation, so we'll have some phrases we can use when you talk on the phone. Also, we're going to talk about how to use the word enough. Okay, how to use this accurately. Also, we're going to have some phrases for polite disagreement and argument. So in the conversation, the tenant, the woman, she disagreed with the man, her landlord. So we're going to learn some phrases they used to politely disagree or politely argue. Okay, so before we do that, we'll need to go to our PDF worksheet where you'll find on the first 2 pages, we've got our listening script with some missing words. I'd like you to listen to the conversation again and try to fill in these missing words. You can listen as many times as you need to. Just listen, fill in those missing words, and when you're ready, we'll come back and start learning some of these expressions. Okay, so see you in a bit. Hello?
Hi, is that John Davies?
Yes, that's me. Who am I speaking to?
This is Nicholas Smith from Flat 2D. I'm calling about a problem with the hot water.
Oh, yes. What seems to be the problem with it?
Well, as you know, it's been really cold lately, and every morning I can hardly ever get any warm water to take a shower or whatever.
This is the first I've heard about it, actually, Nicola.
I've actually talked to other residents who have the same problem, and...
Well, I haven't heard any other complaints.
Are you sure? Because Mrs. Keller in the flat next to me says she's called you before.
I haven't heard anything.
Well, it's a problem. It's winter, it's freezing, and we need hot water.
Are you saying your flat is cold too? The heating isn't working?
Well, no. The heating is fine, but it's really horrible to have to take a cold shower every morning.
Okay, but you have to understand, if everyone is taking a shower around the same time, obviously the water temperature might be a bit lower because of that.
That would make sense, but you can't get hot water at 1 p.m. either. Most people are at work then.
Look, the water system we have in this building is good enough to provide warm water to everyone. There's nothing more I can do.
Well, I think the building should have a better water system installed. You say it's good enough, but my experience tells me that it isn't powerful enough. We have over 100 people living here. We need a bit better system.
That's just unnecessary. The current system is fine. Besides, no one else has complained to me about this.
Well, I know for a fact that other residents are unhappy about this. If you don't do something about the water system, I will call the local council and ask them to deal with it.
Look, there's no money for a new system. There's nothing we can do.
I'm sorry, John. I don't accept that. You can expect someone from the council to contact you soon.
That's totally unnecessary, Miss Smith.
We'll see. Thanks, John. Goodbye.
Okay, guys, so let's take a look now back at our listening script. We're going to look for some phrases in the listening script. We're going to try to find some phrases that we use on the phone. We'll use some phrases for some different functions. So firstly, checking who you are calling. What phrases can you find in the listening script to check who you are calling? Also, to ask who is calling. So when you answer the phone, what can you say to ask who is calling you? Also, saying who you are. So when you introduce yourself on the phone, and then explaining why you are calling. Okay guys, so let's take a look at your listening script and try to find some phrases for these different functions. Okay guys, so let's check our answers, shall we? So firstly, checking who you are calling. When you call someone, you can say, "Hi, is that John Davies?" or "Hi, is that the person's name?" Right? So when you call someone, you want to know it's the correct person. "Hi, is that John Davies?" Asking who is calling, for this one we could say, "Who am I speaking to?" Now this one, if somebody calls you, you don't know who they are, you can say, oh, who am I speaking to? Who am I speaking to? And the next one, saying who you are. So for this one, there's a few options. We could say, this is Nicola Smith, or this is Nicola Smith. And notice we don't say, I'm Nicola Smith. We don't say I'm. We'd say, this is Nicola Smith, or this is Lee, for example. Now, if, for example, someone asks you, like, is that John Davies, for example, then we can respond with this one here. Yes, that's me. So, hi, is that Lee? Yes, that's me. Or, hi, is that John Davies? Yes, that's me. Now, to explain why you're calling, what phrase did we hear? Well, Nicola said, I'm calling about a problem. So I'm calling about some kind of phrase, problem, whatever it is, okay? Now, also though, let's say I'm calling, maybe why am I calling? Let's say I want to tell you about a problem. For this one, for example, I'm calling to tell you about a problem. For this one, we're going to say I'm calling to tell you about a problem. So if we have a verb, we'll say I'm calling to. I'm calling to tell you about a problem. I'm calling about a problem. Both would be fine. Now, let's think about our pronunciation for these phrases. We need to think about a few things. Firstly, we need to think about the stress. And also we need to think about our intonation. Now, intonation is the pitch of your voice, and these two things are very closely related. So the stressed words will often have changes in intonation. Let's do one together. So stress in the first one up here. So, hi, is that John Davies? We're going to stress these two words here. So again, the intonation goes, hi, is that John Davies? Notice here we've got two syllables, Davies. Now, in this, we've got some polite intonation. And at the end, we're going to go down, up. So, Davies. Again, let's try it together. Hi, is that John Davies? Again, hi, is that John Davies? All right, very good. How about the rest of them? What words are we going to stress? And what's the intonation like? Okay guys, so let's look at the next one. So where's our stress? So firstly, who am I speaking to? Again, who am I speaking to for this one? So stress though is going to be who am I speaking to? The intonation is going to go up here. Who am I speaking to? Up, down. Who am I speaking to? And we probably will go down at the end. We could go up too. Both would be fine. Let's try both ways. So, who am I speaking to? Or, who am I speaking to? Again, who am I speaking to? Who am I speaking to? Who am I speaking to? Both are okay. Doesn't really matter. How about the next one? So, this is Nicola Smith. So we stress this one, and then we've got a stress on our name, right? So this is Nicola Smith. Normally going down at the end. But how about the next one? Yes, that's me. Stress here. Yes, that's me. Yes, that's me. So we go down at the end. Up here. Yes, that's me. Again, yes, that's me. Now, the last one here. I'm calling about a problem. Again, I'm calling about a problem. So up, I'm calling about a problem. Problem. Da-da. Up, down. Okay? So, let's try practicing saying these phrases with the correct intonation. Pause this video and practice. Okay guys, so we've talked about those phone phrases, but also in the conversation, we heard the word enough several times. So people use the word enough several times. Let's take a look here. So the landlord said, the water system is good enough to provide warm water to everyone. So they were talking about the water system in the apartment building. So Nicola didn't think it was very good. But the landlord said, no, it's good enough to provide warm water to everyone. But then Nicola said it isn't powerful enough. She was talking about the water system. The water isn't powerful enough. It doesn't come out of the shower very strongly. Okay? So, for these ones here, what does enough mean in this context? In these cases here, what does enough mean? Pause this video and think. Okay guys, so in this context, it kind of means the right amount, or as much as we need, or sufficient. So the water system is good enough. It is as good as we need. It is sufficient. It is the right amount. But Nicola thinks it isn't powerful enough. It isn't the right amount. It isn't as much as we need. It isn't sufficient. So enough here means the right amount, as much as you need, sufficient, right? So in this case, what type of word goes before enough? What type of word goes before it? Pause this video and think. Okay, we can see here, can't we? It's good and powerful, and these are adjectives, right? So we put an adjective in front of enough, in this case good or powerful goes before enough. So in this case, what is the form of the sentence? So pause this video and think, what is the form? Okay guys, so when we use enough in a sentence, it normally goes like this. We say subject, which is usually it, be, so that could be is, are, isn't, or aren't, adjective plus enough. So we've got that here. It is good enough here, and it isn't powerful enough. So it here again, and the water system here is our subject. Okay guys, so now let's take a look at this sentence again. So the landlord said the water system is good enough to provide warm water to everyone. So after enough, the landlord added a verb. Now, if we want to do that, all we need to do is add to verb after enough. So good enough to provide. So in that case, how can we practice this? Let's try and make some sentences with these prompts. So for example, here we've got he, not tall, ride the roller coaster. What do we got here? So we've got tall, that's a nice adjective there, isn't it? But here we've got ride the roller coaster. That is a verb, isn't it? So how do you think we could do that with this one? They've got the word not as well, let's not forget. So for this one, he isn't tall enough to ride the roller coaster, right? Again, he isn't tall enough to ride the roller coaster. That seems to make sense. How about this one though? She responsible, look after her sister, take care of her sister. This one too. They not old, buy alcohol. And this one too. I qualified, get the job. Again, let's do the first one together. It was he not tall, ride a roller coaster. For this one, he's not tall enough to ride the roller coaster, right? How about the other three? Pause this video and think. Okay, so the first one, she responsible, look after her sister. I would say she's responsible enough. Notice we've got she is, right? She's responsible enough to look after her sister. The next one, they not old by alcohol. They're not old enough to buy alcohol. They're not old enough to buy alcohol. And again here, we've got our verb here, there. They are there. And the last one, I qualified, get the job. Do you guys think? I'm qualified enough to get the job. And again, I'm. Now, one small thing on pronunciation. If we have the verb to verb, normally this is a t sound. So for example, to buy. Try it together. They're not old enough to buy alcohol. This one too, to look after her sister. She's responsible enough to look after her sister. Or this one, I'm qualified enough to get the job, to get. So it's a t sound. Okay guys, now we've looked at some expressions using enough, but now let's move on to have a look at some expressions we heard here. So the landlord and the resident, Nicola, Now, they disagreed with each other a lot, didn't they? Now, they're having a polite but serious argument. I'd like you to match these phrases we heard here with their functions. So why do we use them? For example here, a short, sharp phrase expressing frustration. So when you're having a polite but serious discussion, we might use this short, sharp phrase, and it shows that you are annoyed or frustrated. Another one, this one here, accepting an opinion but arguing against it. So you accept the opinion, the other person's opinion, but you disagree with it. Another one here, making a very strong claim about something. A strong claim means my opinion, my thought, or my belief. Very strong one. And one more here, disagreeing with an opinion. So pause this video and match these 4 hints here with these expressions on this side we heard in the conversation. Okay guys, so let's look at the first one. So, okay, but you have to understand. Now this one here, I would say this is accepting the person's opinion, but arguing against it. So saying, okay, yeah, okay, I see, but you have to understand. This one here is, yeah, number 2 there. So it's accepting an opinion, but arguing against it. B, the next one, that would make sense, but this one here is disagreeing with an opinion. Very clearly disagreeing. But 2 and 4 are quite similar. They are both disagreeing phrases. They're both similar. How about C though? Look. Look. We heard Nicola say this, I think, or maybe it was the landlord said, look. Now this is a short, sharp phrase showing frustration. If someone is annoying you, before you speak to them, you might say, look. As in, please stop and listen to me. It shows that you're frustrated. And the last one, I know for a fact that. I know for a fact that. This one here is making a very strong claim about something. So Nicola said, I know for a fact that other residents have complained. She knows it. She's very clear. She knows that's true. Okay guys, now let's talk about these expressions. Now, which words are stressed in these phrases? I'll do A with you first together. So, okay, but you have to understand. Now this one here, small stress on okay, 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 but you have to understand. So big stress on have to. Again, okay, but you have to understand. Very big stress on have to. How about the rest of them? Which words do we stress? Pause this video and think. Now, so for B, for this one, we're going to stress would, actually. That would make sense. Stress on sense too. And then another big stress on but. So we'll say, that would make sense, but. So when you disagree with someone, when they say something you disagree with, you can say, that would make sense, but no, I disagree. The next one, look. This one here, really strong stress on that one word. Again, look, listen, look. And the last one, again, I know for a fact that. I know for a fact that. So small stress on know, bigger stress on fact. Again, let's say together, I know for a fact that. I know for a fact that. Okay, let's take these phrases and pause the video and practice saying them with the appropriate stress. Okay guys, well done. Great work. Okay, so we learned some expressions we can use on the phone. Also, we talked about the word enough and how to use it appropriately. Also, we learned some other expressions we heard in the conversation for having a serious but polite disagreement. Now, so I've been Lee from Proper English Online, and I really hope you enjoyed this video and that you found it useful. We'll have some more pre-intermediate lessons coming very soon. Thanks for joining us today. See you guys next time. Bye bye.